Good morning. It is the first away game of the season. It is Aberdeen away. It's good to see on my Facebook all the usual faces heading up to Aberdeen on the buses this morning. Tell me what you think the score will be in the comment section and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. So, we are playing Aberdeen away. There was talk of Liam Scales heading to Aberdeen this summer. He hasn't gone yet, and Brendan Rodgers admits he'll wait. He'll wait before making a decision on Liam Scales, and I think that all depends on if Celtic bring in someone else after getting the big Swede in the door. I understand that Celtic are still looking at that area, and if we do bring someone else in, it looks like then, and only then, will Liam Scales be allowed to join Aberdeen on loan for the season. Obviously, Aberdeen finished third last season, which was fantastic for them because, let's face it, Hearts were away in front for so much of the season in third position. It's going to be a hard game this afternoon, this lunchtime. The Celtic manager knows that Liam Scales is at 25-year-old. He's at the stage of his career where he needs to be playing on a week-in, week-out basis, but he is that good to still be at Celtic. He's good to have there as backup. Do we put him out on loan? It'll all come out in the wash in the next couple of weeks. By the end of the window, we'll know where we are. It says we'll be in a position with the squad. It says I know where we need to strengthen, says Brendan Rodgers. Liam Scales has trained really well pre-season, and I'd hardly seen anything, so I wanted to take a chance and to see what he was like. It was all about timing and going out to play. Obviously, the benefits of staying here and working in this intense group. Ultimately, it's about game time as well for the players, and that's what will be playing on the mind of Liam Scales, whether he's going to get enough game time at 25-year-old. He is at that age range where you do want to be playing football every week, and it'll be more beneficial for his career if he is. So, would you send him out on loan if we bring in someone else? Tell me that in the comments. Brendan Rodgers went on and said he has first-class attitude and qualities as a player. We're going to talk about other players that like Ralston in this video also. We'll just assess where he's at over the coming weeks. It is getting to the business end of this transfer window. It is getting squeaky bum time in case anyone comes in for our players. And even though our transfer window shuts, Brendan says he has one big fear, and we'll talk about that big fear in the video in just a minute. He says, he's talking about Aberdeen today. He says, obviously Barry Robson's been there for a good period of time. He settled them down and ended up in Europe. My own experience of Aberdeen is always a challenge, and it is always a challenge up there. But it's a place where I like to go and play football, and there's been some cracking games up in Aberdeen. So give me your scoreline predictions in the comment section of this video. Now, one player that came in under Brendan Rodgers the first time around, and he had a bit of a difficult season last season, but the first season Ange was here, he was absolutely brilliant, and it was down to him scoring a 95th minute goal up in Ross County that probably made sure that we won the league that season, because that took us on a little run, and it made sure that we won this. That was the goal. That was the turning point in the season. Tony Ralston heading the ball into the back of the net after a fantastic cross, and then I'm running almost into the fans. Ralston has been completely revigorated since 2021, although he only managed to make 15 appearances last season against Ross County last week. Some were saying that he didn't look as fit. Obviously, he had that little injury during pre-season, but he is full of respect for the gaffer. He says, when I came in, I was a little younger. He had faith in me. He gave me chances. Looking back on my career, I'm very thankful for those chances, said Anthony Ralston. He says, as football players, we have personal lives and family. He went on to talk about his little kid and the difference from when his gaffer was here. He says, obviously, his kid is the reason for what he's doing now. And the gaffer will relate to that. He's talking about his age also. He's 24, and he just wants to push on as much as he can. He says, and he hopes that nothing changes. He's putting in the work every day. And he said there's nothing changed from the first time that Brendan was here. He says you still have to put in the work in training. You have to try and prove yourself in every training session. And he says his game has come on a lot since the manager was last here, and he hopes to be able to put all that knowledge now onto the pitch. I think we all know that Tony Ralston is a player that we can get into the team, and he's good enough to be in the team. He should be in the team, but you want him to be just that little bit better. You want his quality just to be that little bit better also. And I think if he could push on this season, it'll be fantastic for us. But he does have Alistair Johnson that is back in training, so he'll have him to contend with. And I also talk about Brendan Rodgers also trying to get in another player. Now, Brendan has been talking about there's two dangerous things in football, and that's a team with money, and it's not only a team with money, but it's a team with a plan. And he's been talking about the fact that he was offered a position in Saudi Arabia before he decided to come back to Celtic. Obviously, when he'd left Leicester, at that point, he was still taking a year out the game. Brendan does not need the money. Brendan does not need to go to Saudi to make himself financially affluent for the years to come. Brendan's already in that position. He was obviously in that position after being in Liverpool, and he doesn't need the money in that sense. It was said when he went to Leicester, Danny McGrain said in front of us before, he said Brendan went to Rodgers, he didn't go there for the money. Brendan did not need the money. He went there for football reasons only. Talking about the fact that he was offered a position in Saudi, he spoke to a team twice, and he has one big fear. He says when our transfer window closes, the Saudi transfer window stays open for another month. And he says that's one big fear he has. And he says that after speaking to the clubs in Saudi Arabia, he says, we've spoke about this on this channel before, and I've spoke about it in length to many people, and the Saudis do have this plan of a big TV deal for 480 million, which would be bigger than the Sky TV deal. They do have a 10-year plan to make their league something that's attractive to a TV audience. He said it wasn't right for him to go. He was still in the thinking of, I want to have a year out of football. He said he spoke to people like he has spoke to Jordan Henderson before he went. He says I spoke to him at length. And then he also spoke about the fact that he had two really long meetings, Rodgers revealed. From a financial perspective, it was interesting. Out of respect, I spoke to them again, but his whole mindset was at that point was to take a year out. And then after that, I spoke to Celtic. And what makes it interesting, he says they obviously have a plan in terms of where they want to be, as in terms of football, and they have the money to do it. And that's the biggest fear for him. He says, so, they have a plan. He says, because their window closes, he has a fear that somebody could come in from Saudi and maybe take another Celtic player. He says that, if it was to happen, obviously could make you wobble a bit. Anyway, tell me what you think the score will be this afternoon. It's going to be a hard game up in Aberdeen. We spoke about on the Friday Night Live. I give you my team. It was Hart, Ralston, Carter Vickers, Rocky, Taylor, McGregor, O'Reilly. I'm still undecided whether the manager will go back with Turnbull or if he'll bring Hatate into the team. And then you're going to have Abada, Maida and Kyogo. That's your starting 11. I just think that the manager might change it a little and bring Hatate back into the team just to give that little bite. But you never know. Turnbull's been in absolutely fantastic form. So tell me your thoughts in the comments. And have a great day, Celtic fans, wherever you are in the world watching the game. There will be a video that will go up straight after the game. And that'll be some chat from some people down at the pub probably. And then we'll jump on a live so we can all have our say after that. So there will be two videos this afternoon. So on that note, have a great day, Celtic fans all around the world.
Lit. Roll up to the party, roll up to the